Have you ever heard of the ghost ship found at sea, drifting perfectly fine, with all of its crew mysteriously gone? The Amazon was a 100-foot long, 26-foot wide, 12-foot deep ship. It was ready to set sail for its maiden voyage in June 1861 from the Nova Scotia Islands. But there was just weird things happening from the very beginning. They had issues launching for the maiden voyage, with some witnesses even saying that the ship just refused to move against all perfect logic. Eventually, the ship was launched, and it was commanded by Captain Robert McKellen, who was very excited about getting his new ship out onto the waters. However, during this first maiden voyage, Captain McKellen falls ill with pneumonia, and he dies as soon as the ship reaches harbor again. 6 years later, in October of 1867, the Amazon becomes shipwrecked in a terrible storm, and its owners at that point leave it abandoned. It wasn't until 5 years later, in October of 1872, when she set sail again, under new ownership and a new name that she would become infamous for, the Mary Celeste. The new captain of the rebranded Mary Celeste was Captain Benjamin Briggs, a 37-year-old God-fearing man. For his maiden voyage, he took a crew of less than a dozen people, including his wife and young daughter, on a routine trip delivering industrial alcohol to Italy. This wasn't a problem for Captain Briggs. He was an experienced seaman. His father was a seaman. His brothers were seamen. He came from a family of captain and men who viewed the ocean as their second home. On December 4th, 1872, a ship named the Gratia spots the nearby Mary Celeste. The Mary Celeste sails were set in an odd way, and it was moving erratically. And upon closer look, there seemed to be no one on board. The Gratia's concerned captain sends out signals to the Mary Celeste, which none of them were returned, no response. The captain then sends a few crewmates out to go board the Mary Celeste, and what they found, or rather didn't find, was very disturbing. Everything looked perfectly fine. Personal items were still laying around. Equipment and a large food supply was found neatly stored away. Upon further investigation, they seen that the Mary Celeste's last daily ship log was 9 days prior. The ship was still seaworthy and ready to finish its voyage, but not a soul was on board. There was no sign of struggle, no indication of violence or fighting at all. What happened to this crew? Why did they just vanish without leaving a trace? And where did they go? There have been many theories over the 150 plus years of the Mary Celeste crew's disappearance. The most logical one is alien abduction. It's very likely that aliens came. No, I'm just playing. Honestly, all jokes aside, there is a theory that there is alien abduction, but foul play is obviously one of the theories that is highly suspect for what happened. Some people think that members of the Gratia got on board and killed the crew members and to take their belongings, but this doesn't make much sense because their personal items were still left laying around, a lot of valuable items. Another theory stems from the lifeboat that was missing. It is suspected that the crew got onto the lifeboat because of some reason. Something on that ship made them get off and leaving everything that they belonged behind. What was it though? What could it have been? What could they have seen on the ship? There are further theories that Captain Briggs thought that the ship was taking on too much water. There were 3.5 feet of water found in the ship's hold, which was a large amount, but no reason to panic and abandon ship due to the size of the Mary Celeste. The Gratia crew members found a sounding rod. Basically what that is a tool that's used to tap on pipes and determine the pressure and determine how much water that the ship currently has inside of it. There could have been natural phenomena nearby, such as a water spout, that could have caused air pressure readings to go haywire and caused Captain Briggs to believe that there was more water in the ship when they were using the tool. Also, like I said, this sounding rod was makeshift. It could have been inaccurate, and it could have led them to believe that there was more than 3.5 feet of water anyway. This theory, in my opinion, still doesn't make a whole lot of sense because once they got in a lifeboat, I mean, they could have easily looked back and seen the ship was still adrift and wasn't really sinking. Also, why wouldn't they grab some of their personal belongings? Anything. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Let me know what you think in the comments. Talk to me. What do you think happened to these people aboard the Mary Celeste? And if you do believe in aliens, that's perfectly fine. I want you to defend your argument and let me know, and I'll be responding to you because I have no idea. I'm stumped, and everybody has been for the last 150 years. That's all I got for y'all today. Listen, for the next few videos, we're doing mysteries in history, disturbing disappearances over the course of time. Like the video if you like the video, subscribe and hit that notification bell if you want to see what comes next. I'll see y'all real soon for another banger. You dig?